Tracy asks, what is the best platform to code qualitative data? Now, I'm going to take some latitude here and say, really, do you have any suggestions for qualitative analysis software, Matthew? And if so, why?
Yeah, so this is a good one because when you're dealing with qualitative analysis, it can be a very lengthy process. There can be a lot of stuff, a lot of thinking. Here's what I usually tell my clients about qualitative analysis software. If you are working with a very large volume, so maybe you're doing, I had a client once who had over 200 newspaper articles that was part of their corpus, or you're doing 50 or more hour-long interviews and you've got a large corpus, that's when we want to start looking and thinking about software. Also, if you think that you're going to be doing qualitative research well into the future, right? Like that's going to be part of your job after you finish your doctorate. That's when we want to look at qualitative software packages. Why do I say that? Because at that point, we need all the extra tools and supports that are going to help us get across the finish line. If we're going to do this one study, we have 5, maybe 10, 30-minute interviews that we're going to be working with. Then I usually tell people to do this by hand in a spreadsheet because in my view, it's not worth the time and money to learn a software if you're never going to use it again. And if you don't really need all those extra tools. If you've got a small corpus and you don't need all the extra tools, doing it by hand can be very simple. We have a great video on the Grad Coach YouTube channel about how to do this in a spreadsheet. I use that with a lot of clients. They have a lot of success with that. So I definitely recommend checking that out. If you don't want to use a spreadsheet and you really do want to look at a software, maybe you are using a large corpus, maybe you do intend to do this. The two that I like most are NVivo and Dedoose. They both more or less work the same. You're going to upload your transcripts from your interviews, or you're going to upload your newspaper articles, or whatever your qualitative source is. And you're going to read through, you're going to kind of highlight words, right click, add a code. And it's going to keep all of your codes nice and orderly. It's going to allow you to repeat codes. It's going to help create frequency tables and all of that stuff that we would be doing exactly the same process in a spreadsheet. It just does it a little more streamlined for a large volume.